You're listening to the Productive Therapist Podcast, the world's greatest and most brilliant resource for busy therapists who'd rather be laying on a beach in Hawaii. Each episode is packed with simple tips and inspiring insights from the Productive Therapist team to help you grow your practice and have fun doing it. So without further ado, let's help you get more done and have more fun.
Hello. Welcome back to the Productive Therapist Podcast. You're awesome. Thank you so much for listening. If you've ever enjoyed this podcast, I would love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That would be absolutely amazing. Just trying to get the word out about the things that we're sharing with more folks. So today I wanted to actually pop in and do a quick solo episode and share with you basically some of the early lessons that I'm learning about building and installing AI receptionists in my practice and also in a number of other practices. So I've literally been testing these AI receptionists with dozens of therapy practices over the last few months. And here's a few things that I'm learning that I hope you find interesting. And I'm going to share the good things, the challenging things, and even a few slightly surprising things. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and it will be a short one, but I'm just going to lay it out for you and be as honest as possible because this is a new technology. It's an amazing technology, and I think there's a lot of wonderful applications, but there are some challenges. And so we're figuring things out. I'm figuring things out here as the head nerd at Productive Therapist. That's one of my roles and something that I just enjoy so much. But at the end of the day, the goal for me has always been to respond quicker to potential clients and to close that gap between first contact and first session. We all as therapists want to help more people, and using AI tools is just a way to do that. It's exactly that. It's a tool. So every call answered, every client connected, that's the goal. All right, so what's been tricky? So some therapists worry that their clients are not ready to talk to AI about therapy. And this is totally understandable. In different parts of the country, there's just different sort of mindsets and different culture. And that is totally fine. I wonder if that's really very much of an issue, but this is some of the feedback that I'm getting from practice owners in other states. I'm in California, and things are different here in California. Things are different in New York. If you go to Wisconsin, it's a little bit different. If you go to Louisiana, et cetera. So some therapists are just thinking like, I don't think our population, our clients are wanting to have this experience. So that's valid. The next one is that the setup, it just takes some patience. So far, it's not 100% plug and play. So it takes a little bit of testing and tweaking to get it just right. And I mean, that's the same thing that we experience with an employee. Let's say we hire someone to be an intake coordinator. It takes more training. Honestly, it takes more training than you would like to give or that you think it would require. But that is a little bit of a hurdle. And so, something we're encountering. And then there are some complex scenarios that are coming up. And when you think about the job of an intake coordinator, or even you, if you're a solo practice, handling incoming calls and emails and those kinds of things, there's a bunch of different scenarios that come up from, cancellations, rescheduling, people who are calling to look for the office or they're lost, or people who are calling to reach a certain staff member, whether that's a therapist or somebody on the admin team. So as we're configuring the AI receptionist, we're trying to account for all these situations and build things in so that people don't have a frustrating experience. And I would say it's going well, but every practice has a little bit of a different scenario. Some people want what I call a human handoff, where if someone is on the phone with the AI receptionist and they ask, I want to talk to a human, whether they're frustrated or not, we want them to be able to go somewhere to sort of get out of that loop. So we build that in. That's not a problem. We can transfer them to another number. We can basically take a message and tell them that somebody will get back to them. That's totally possible. But I'm finding that there's a little bit of complexity there. It's not quite like, the example that comes to mind would be like Subway or whatever's taking over for Subway. People might call in, or just the request is like, make me a sandwich, essentially. I don't know if that's a good analogy. That might break down because there's a lot of variability in what kind of sandwich you might want. In any case, that's been a little tricky, the complex scenarios. Those aren't the only things, but those are a few things that I wanted to highlight. People being concerned about clients and potential clients not wanting to talk to AI to start the therapy process, it taking some patience to get it dialed in just right, and then some of these complex scenarios. As far as a couple of the things that are working very well, obviously, or not obviously, the response time is dropping from hours or even days to seconds for every single incoming call. That's obviously one of the huge benefits about using an AI receptionist. It's going to answer your phone 24/7, 365 within a matter of seconds. And just as a side note too, most practices are opting to disclose right up front that it's AI. So the greeting that we're putting on most of the accounts is something like, "Thanks for calling Intune Family Counseling. My name is Sarah, or I'm Sarah, a friendly AI assistant. How can I help you?" Something like that. We're not trying to fool people here. We're just trying to get them to reach their goal faster. And to some people, I think it's beneficial to disclose that it's AI, because some people actually might not know, and then they might get frustrated when they don't have the same experience that they would have with a human. So response time, super fast, super consistent. That's fantastic. And then as far as like operationally setting up these AI receptionists and sort of installing them, we can get it set up and running in a few days. And it actually requires very little time or effort for the practice owner. So that's very nice. I was talking to someone last week, and they had the idea that this would be really time intensive for them, 5, 10, 15 hours. And in fact, it was probably about an hour or so. Maybe 1 to 2 hours, if I'm being honest, because I think the practice owner likely wants to listen to some calls, really make sure that it's answering questions correctly and doing what they want it to do. But overall, it's very quick setup and not a heavy lift for the practice owner. And then the quick response plus the feature for booking consultations is really truly a game changer, especially for busy admin teams or even busy solo therapists. And in my mind, at least, it's quite an elegant solution when the phone is picked up 100% of the time, and there's the ability to guide that person through to booking a call with someone that can match them with the best therapist, or at least get them on the schedule. That's amazing. And even though this tech is brand new and it's literally improving every week, every month, what works well now is going to work really brilliantly soon. So the actual features that these AI receptionists, the things that they can do, are expanding. And I'm excited about that. And the voices are getting better. The functionality is getting better. The options and the flexibility, it's just getting better and better. So that's really pretty neat. And I would say overall, the AI receptionist is not good for everyone. It's not necessary for everyone. If you don't get very many inquiries and it feels manageable, I wouldn't say that you need something like this. If you're getting back to people usually same day, even within a couple hours, or at least same day, I think you're probably fine. But if you're getting more inquiries, I'd say 10 plus a week, and you really don't want to miss those calls, or you feel like you're missing potential clients, or your admin team is overwhelmed and a bit stressed, this could really be a game changer for your practice, and it might be your new favorite tool as well. So a couple of just interesting footnotes. The most popular voice is Jennifer. Not that you have any point of reference for that, but that's the one that a lot of people seem to like. But there's so many options. There's literally over 100 voices you can choose from, and you can select by language. It can speak multiple languages. You can select by the accent, the gender, and then you can also dial in the speed of the voice and a bunch of little sort of minutia about how that voice performs, if you will. So that's been kind of fun. I'm thinking about a practice that I'm working with right now that's in New York City. And shout out to Dove from Very Good Therapy. And he really wanted sort of, a New York accent and a faster speaking voice. So he picked one that is working out fantastically. So that's kind of neat to be able to customize it like that. Another practice that I'm working with has clients who speak English and clients who speak Spanish and some who speak both. So we were actually able to choose a voice that can go back and forth from English to Spanish. And that's kind of amazing because in our experience, hiring a bilingual virtual assistant to handle intake coordination, it can be challenging to find that person. So that was pretty neat. And then I would say another thing that's interesting is that the call times tend to be around 2 to 4 minutes. It's not super long, which means it's not super expensive. And most people, this is my opinion, but I think it's showing to be true. Most people don't really want to talk to an AI agent or an AI receptionist, but if they get their question answered, if they get the consult booked, if they get what they're looking for, they're perfectly happy to accomplish that and then move on. They don't, no surprise really, but they don't want to sit there and talk to the AI for a long time. Somebody might, but it's going to be a very small percentage of callers. And also we have the ability to put a limit on the length of the call. So somebody can't call the AI receptionist and just, chat for an hour or hundreds of minutes and rack up sort of a phone bill, if you will. So that's good. And the truth is that some people, yes, they are hanging up on the AI receptionist. They hear that it's AI or, they have an experience, whatever their thought or feeling might be about that. And yes, they're hanging up. I'm not concerned about that. And I'm telling practice owners, don't worry about it because people call your voicemail and hang up on your outgoing voicemail message all the time. And I need to get the data to back this up, but I'm almost 100% positive that answering immediately and helping them with their concern is going to lead to more conversions. I don't have the data yet, but I will soon. And I'm pretty sure that hypothesis will prove out. With that said, as part of the testing and sort of tweaking process, we're listening to calls and recommending that practice owners listen to calls to make sure that people are not having a negative experience. Make sure they're not getting upset by talking to an AI receptionist. So we want to monitor that. And inside of this simple intake system, there is, they call it sentiment. So you can kind of gauge what the sentiment is, positive or negative or somewhere in between. I think for productive therapists, it's sitting right at 98%, which is quite good. So you do want to keep track of that just to make sure that you're not frustrating people and they're not getting stuck in a loop or just unhappy about the experience that you've created for them. So if you are interested in this and you want to experience it for yourself, I would recommend you go to our website, productivetherapist.com/info, and you can listen to a few of our AI demo calls. You can also just call the phone number we have on the Productive Therapist website. If you want to talk to our AI receptionist and ask about our programs, you can call and ask about the AI receptionist, which we are calling Simple Intake. And then if you are even more interested and you're intrigued by this, you can fill out the form on that page and talk to my team. Set up a call to talk to my team about your specific setup, your needs, and how we can help you. Again, the goal is to answer every call, connect every client as much as possible, and help more people. So those are some of the early learnings of the AI Receptionist, and I'm continuing to, like I said, test and tweak and integrate new features and make this better and better. I feel like it's a serious competitive advantage for practice owners, and it's also just creating a positive experience for potential clients who are still struggling to find a good therapist in their community or even in their state. It shouldn't be this hard. And so what we're trying to do is make it just a little bit easier for people to get the help that they need. So there you go. That's what I wanted to share today. That's the podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@productivetherapist.com. And of course, visit the website for all the resources. Have a good one.
That's it for today. Thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and hit the subscribe button to make sure you never miss an episode. If you're looking for more personalized help, you can reach us through productivetherapist.com. Thanks so much for listening. We are Productive Therapist, and this is the podcast that helps therapists get more done and have more fun.